so sick of this weekend. I don't even want to hear.
Hello, welcome back to This Takes the Cake. I can't believe we are already into our second episode of 2026. I am Alex with our Aspen Vale location, and we have Nina with us too.
Woo! Happy New Year, guys!
Happy New Year! I can't believe it. I'm so excited. 2026 is going to be amazing. I can already
I
tell.
know. It's going to
Yes.
be a great year. I feel like there's a lot happening this year. A lot of new stuff is coming.
I know. New stuff. That's what we're on the theme for our podcast. I know the last one we just heard about new locations, planning destinations, and we've got some super fun new things coming up for the rest of the month as well and into the year. But Nina and I are going to talk about new systems. New year, new systems.
We can't live without our systems. It makes us the best planners we can possibly be. And, when you think about systems, it's like, why would I want to hear anything about systems? But I promise you, the systems that we're going to talk about make our lives easier as planners, make the clients' lives easier as clients, but also the vendors' lives easier because we can really bring together so many new and awesome technologies to partner in a way that you don't necessarily think about.
Right. Oh my gosh, I know. And then like with all of the AI things coming out into the world, on the daily basis, I feel like there's something new that's like, oh, you can do this and it'll be faster, So with everything new coming out in the world and how we can work that into planning and how we can save us time, how we can save our clients time and hours, so all the new fun systems. Let's jump right in. Where do you want to start, Nina?
Well, I think something that's really important is starting at the beginning. And
Sure.
And that's with our onboarding calls. We really try hard to set the stage well when a client hires us.
Yes.
Because we want them to feel loved and appreciated and heard. And something that's so important is setting those expectations right from the start.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why I think the onboarding calls that we do specifically are so important. It really just helps lay out expectations that we have, but also to make sure that the client understands, where their expectations lie. Because I think a lot of times they expect so many things from us. They don't always read the fine print of the contract,
right.
And they don't always remember all the details of what's in the contract, but it's a really good time to put everything out there on a quick Zoom to just make sure that we're all on the same page. All the expectations are understood from both sides.
Right.
And then it allows us to work in the best and most efficient way possible.
Absolutely. No, I 100% agree. I love doing onboarding calls. Plus, typically, it's like if you're doing all of your inquiry calls over the phone, having an onboarding call on Zoom is really the first time that you might be meeting online face-to-face with your new bride or your new couple. And so having that face-to-face, really helps a lot too. You can hear their tone of voice, see their mannerisms, put a face to the name, but as well as like kind of walk them through all of our papers, all of our contracts. They've seen all of this stuff. We've sent it to them, but like you said, we don't always read the fine print. I know I don't always read the fine print. And so just making sure that everyone's on the same page. I have found that it just makes the planning process so much easier across the board. There's no questions. It's like, oh yeah, I remember talking about that in our onboarding call. So we go over all of our hours details, everything that has to do with our contract, anything that they can expect. And that's also, like you said, a good opportunity to where if they have expectations for us, we can continue to talk about that and just make sure everyone's on the same page across the board.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think you bring up something interesting that, if your initial calls are on the phone and then this is the first time you're meeting them on Zoom, I've had clients where I haven't met them in person until their wedding day.
Yeah. Oh,
where
me too.
all the planning calls are on Zoom and then you never actually meet them until that day.
Yep.
So, or the rehearsal day,
right.
if that's part of what they're doing. But it's so interesting when you can have all this happen through this like incredible technology where you're not in the same location, or maybe where your location is destination for your clients.
Right.
And, like I currently have a couple that's based in London. So we're
So
doing a lot of
cool.
our planning. I know, it's awesome. We're doing a lot of our planning via Zoom
Yeah.
because they're getting married in New York and they're here every so often, but not frequently enough.
Hmm.
And we're doing most of our planning on Zoom. And it's such an incredible technology that we can use to make sure that we still have that personal touch that you would want to have in person,
Right.
but that, at least allows you to see each other face to face versus just having phone calls. Because I
Absolutely.
think that that taking it one step further than a phone call really makes the difference.
Hmm.
They can see your facial expressions, that you're excited and happy to be there, and that you're professional and not just like slouching on the couch talking
Right.
to them on the phone. And
Yeah.
so using the technology that exists out there, I think is really important for really showing who we are.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and that's a great point too that you made as far as destination, because I feel like a lot of my clients are also destination couples. I just did a wedding back in December for a couple that lives in Florida full time, but they wanted to get
Mhm.
married out here in Aspen, so like having the like we don't always have our clients in the same city with us,
Right.
so being able to connect, being able to FaceTime if we're walking through the venue and they're still not here yet,
Mhm.
or different stuff like that. So
That's my
I love it.
favorite,
I know.
especially because we it's this same London couple. We the site visit, there was a conflict with the venue and they couldn't be there and it was a whole kerfuffle. But the coordinator was amazing because she got all of us on a Zoom and zoomed us all through the venue together.
Wow.
So then we all saw the same thing at the same time
Hmm.
and we could talk about the pros, the cons, all the logistical things afterwards, still on Zoom, and then make a decision.
Right.
So this technology, man,
I know.
it's
So
really,
easy
it's,
bringing the world together.
yeah, it's awesome.
I know. I love it.
Um, but yeah, I think like tying in as much as we can into our onboarding calls
Hmm.
really makes the process just streamlined going forward and allows us to utilize the different tips, tricks, and things that we can use throughout the planning process.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like we've said, just keeping everybody on the same page. There are no questions, no surprises. It's definitely an investment to have a wedding in general, but to also have us on
Mm-hmm.
board, and an important one to make, but definitely one that we want to value. So keeping everybody on the same page is the best case scenario.
Totally.
Yes.
So, we've had a lot of changes in technology
Hmm.
in the last couple of years. And I think one of the biggest ones that has really come to life is AI.
Yes.
And I know I'm finding myself using it more and more and more, but I feel like I really need to spend time like just on like how to properly use it in the ways that I want to use it.
Hmm.
But I have found myself really looking forward to using it. How are you using it these days?
Yeah, so I definitely have enjoyed using it too. And it's always crazy because I feel like every day there's a new aspect of it where it's like, oh, you can teach it to do this, and the whole concept of like teaching
Totally.
your computer to do something is really crazy. And it's just such an exciting
Crazy.
time to be in, because I'm sure like our parents, our grandparents, there's no way they ever expected anything like this to exist. And here we are. But I guess some different ways that I have used it before would be like bringing visions to life. I know that we've kind of talked about this a little bit before, but I was on a site. I was on a site visit. We were doing a wedding at a private property. And so the bride had grown up there her entire life. It was such a beautiful location. But
So fun.
she had different sections of the property where she wanted different events to happen, So we were in the
Hmm.
ceremony portion. There is this giant, beautiful tree that they wanted to be standing right in front of for the ceremony.
Hmm.
And she was explaining to me her vision of how she wanted white rose petals to be surrounding the tree, but then also coming out into the aisle. So it would be kind of
Hmm.
like a slow taper at the start of the aisle, or I guess at the end, like when you would be walking into, and
Hmm.
then get heavier as you get closer. She was like, I
Oh,
really love.
love it.
Do what?
I love it.
Yes. Oh, I know. It was beautiful. And she was like, I really want to have this happen, but I don't really know what it's going to look like and I don't know what to expect. And I don't necessarily want to wait till wedding day to find out because it's a little late at that point.
Of course.
So I took a picture of this tree and I like backed up so that you could see like where the aisle would potentially be. So I took a picture of this entire space and I loaded it into Chat GPT and I said, use this image and surround it with white rose petal, like surround this tree with white rose petals and have them go into the aisle. And it produced a photo like that looked as if I had taken that picture in real life with the white rose petals. And so we sat
That's
there.
crazy.
I know, it was so cool. We sat there and looked at it and she showed me, like, oh well, I think it should be heavier here, or maybe we do less here, different points like that. We tweaked it a little bit, but it like essentially brought her vision to life right there in that moment, which was so cool. So that was definitely a super
It's so
fun.
helpful because
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times brides have these ideas, and then once they see some sort of visual representation of their idea, they're like, I don't actually like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it takes a lot of work to create that visual representation.
Right.
So the fact that we're able to use ChatGPT or other platforms to just quickly mock something up,
Mm-hmm.
I think saves us hours of work,
Yeah.
which then saves our clients hours of our time
Mm-hmm.
and allows us to like quickly generate something that can show their vision, but also allow us to change it just as fast.
Oh, yeah.
And if they're like, oh, I don't actually like this, let's try this idea, we can just create it right then and there and show it to them and be like, oh, this is actually the direction I want to go, which then helps us with, getting proposals and working with our vendors to make sure that they have accurate information.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much easier when you have like a mock-up inspiration image to be like, we want to create something like this versus trying to use your words to like, okay, we want to like slowly taper, but then not taper, but then taper and
Right.
like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that we have the ability to do that with technology is friggin' wild.
Oh my gosh. And it's so wild. And like you said, I really love the point that you made as far as like we could change it just as easily, So
Mhm.
like I could have written back to the ChatGPT chat and been like, add more or take some away, and it would
Mhm.
adjust our vision as we're standing right there in the middle of her yard, so
That's
it makes it so much easier. It definitely helps to just bring the idea to life in the moment, as opposed to had I had to have gone back home, taken that photo, used, I don't know, Photoshop or anything like that to put the flowers on there, email it to her, wait for her response. It's just so instant in that moment. You can get your answers and you can check that off the list.
So incredible.
Yeah.
And I think like, especially when you're trying to figure out like rentals and how certain chairs will look in the space. And yeah, we know how to create the image using Canva, using Photoshop, using whatever platforms. But if you could just say, this is the chair I'm using, this is the picture, please put 200 chairs to create a ceremony with an aisle in the middle, it'll do it for you.
Oh yeah.
And it'll save you all the time of spending just creating this one image when you can use those hours doing something so much more important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I know I've had I've chatted with some of the other owners that have told me they've used it to show their clients what their pipe and drape would look like, or what, their chair setup, like you were saying, would look like, just the options are truly limitless. So.
Yeah. And it's kind of scary because like, we never want that personal touch to be taken away.
Exactly.
And like, yes, you can use it to spruce up your emails or to do, spell check and like all that kind of stuff. But I think, we have to cautiously use these platforms because we do want to make sure that all of our work is still personal and tailored to our clients. And we don't want our clients thinking that, we use ChatGPT for everything because we definitely don't.
No.
But we definitely use it in ways that help us and that take some things off of our plate that are very time consuming. And through that, save hours for the clients because we're always trying to find ways to do things faster and better because we don't want to use extra hours, or we don't want to put you in a position where you have to get extra hours. So I think just the fact that, we're using what we can to save you time is one of the most incredible tools.
Absolutely.
And I think, not only with platforms like ChatGPT, but we also use all these other different platforms to help us create floor plans and create visions and bring them to life. And I think one of the other awesome ones that we use is Mary. And I really, really love how we can make something so 3D and feel like you're standing right there.
Yes. Yeah. So for any of our listeners that don't know what Mary is, it is an online platform, I guess you can say, where we can go in and we can essentially create your reception or your ceremony or whatever space that you're working with into a 3D kind of like walkthrough, if that makes sense. So if you want the tables to have pink linens and red roses, like we can set it up to where it's going to look exactly like that. It gives you a good idea as far as what everything's going to look like once it's all decorated and tied with a pretty bow, so that you can kind of click through and see exactly what your reception is slotted to look like. That could be helpful in the sense of, oh my gosh, this is amazing, I love this, let's do it. It could also be helpful in the sense of, ooh, that doesn't really quite look like I thought it was going to, again. And then we can adjust, change, fix the linens, rework the layout, whatever needs to be done. But we have that opportunity to kind of show that to our clients, and then they give us feedback and we can adjust from there prior to wedding day, because we want wedding day to be as perfect and as stunning and brilliant as possible.
For sure. And I think it's especially helpful when the space doesn't necessarily exist. So if you're not in a ballroom or a venue or anything like that, when you're in a tent, it's so much harder to fully visualize what the space is going to look like.
Yes, I'm so glad that you brought up the tent. That's great.
Yeah. And like what the ceiling's going to look like, what the flooring will look like. Will these tables actually look good in this configuration? Do we need to change something? What's it going to feel like? Is it going to feel too tight? Like those are so many questions that I feel like when you look at a 2D floor plan, you can't really tell.
No.
But taking it to the next level and doing that 3D layout, it really, really helps for clients that are so visual. And, for our higher end full planning clients where there's so many different elements coming into play, where there's lighting fixtures that are being put up, there's draping, there's flooring, there's, crazy staging, or, other lounge elements that are coming in that may not be easy to visualize. I think being able to use this platform really helps us see it come to life, but also our clients see it come to life.
Yeah, exactly. No, it really is such a great, fantastic tool for us to be able to share all of these visions with our clients, just to make sure that they're happy before we get started or before they put any money towards something that they might not necessarily enjoy at the end of the day. So
totally.
Yeah.
Are there any other platforms that you feel like that we're using that like you don't think you could live without, or that are like the most important, or that like take the cake for your like favorite platforms?
I'd say as far as platforms go, I really love IO Planner. I don't think that I could I don't think I could live without it. That was the first thing that I did when I started to plan my own personal wedding, was create an IO Planner,
That's so funny that you said that, because when I got married in 2019, my planner, who I used to intern for, she used IO Planner, and I was like, oh, this is so great as a bride. What would I do without this? And fast forward to now, I'm like, oh, this is so great as a planner. What would my clients do without this? So I'm so happy you said that.
Yes. No, that was the first thing. As soon as we got engaged, next morning, I opened my laptop IO Planner account as I'm sitting there making it. It's the best. And
yes, Alex recently got engaged. Well, not so recently anymore, but Alex is getting married.
I'm so excited. We can't wait. It's really fun to be on this side, but to be on the bride side of things, I can make the final decisions. But
and I'm sure you're very good at making decisions.
Thank you. I try. But yeah.
Well, I guess that brings me to a good question. now that you're a bride,
Mhm.
what kind of technologies aside from aisle planner are you finding that like are being game changers for you? Are you seeing anything where you're like, wow, this is so awesome. I wish that I started using this earlier with my clients, or like anything like that?
Yeah. I know you said aside from IO Planner, which
You can say aisle
I was
planner,
gonna
it's
say
fine.
plug into IO Planner just one more time. I really love their checklist that they provide too, of like, oh well, if you're 6 to 8 months out, then you should be looking at this. If you're 5 to 4,
Totally.
4 or 5 weeks out, you should be looking at this. You know, but
Mm-hmm.
it's really great to kind of take that information and then plug that into different things. So I have like maybe 5 different spreadsheets of various things.
Am I not surprised at
Yeah,
all?
no. And I've got like the same information on multiple spreadsheets, but I just use it to like cross check myself. But
Yep.
another great way to kind of use ChatGPT again is to load in both of those spreadsheets, so whether that's a seating chart or a, meal selection, you can kind of
Mm-hmm.
load both of those in, all of that in, and be like, hey, cross check this, make sure that all of the same people are here, all of this information is the
Oh,
same both
that's one of my
times.
favorite things to use
Yeah.
it
Oh
for.
yeah.
Especially when like clients are doing their seating charts,
Mm-hmm.
even if we give them a template to put all their information in, then we can take their like raw document versus our template
Mm-hmm.
and be like, okay, cross check to make sure no one's name got left off by accident.
Right.
Because, one of the most stressful things on wedding day is a guest doesn't have a seat,
Right. Oh my gosh.
because you have to figure out like where they could possibly belong. You don't want to put them with the wrong side of the family
Mm-hmm.
or people that they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not something that we try to make sure our bride and groom know about, because it's easy for us to figure out
Right.
and find a seat. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But like it always makes that one guest super uncomfortable, and we never want to draw attention to it
No.
if that one person doesn't have a seat.
Right.
So, human error
Yeah,
happens.
absolutely.
And I feel like no matter what, we're still going to cross check that list, but it allows us to have that extra step of, okay, yes, it is fully cross checked. Yes, our brain did work the way we wanted it
Right.
to. And now we have that extra step of checking
Uh-huh.
where it just like relaxes you a little, knowing that like, okay, yes, I did check it. Yes, my brain did work. Yes, it is right.
Yes. No, absolutely. I've even had couples make their own seating chart and they've forgotten to put themselves on it. So
Oh my
like
God, every
yeah,
time.
as bride and groom, they never remember to put themselves on the seating chart. So I always like to kind of point that out too. So if you're planning your wedding, make sure you put yourself on your seating chart.
Yes,
Um,
hot tip. Don't forget
yeah.
yourselves. Especially if you're not doing a sweetheart
Right.
table.
No, yeah.
Because like if you're not, then like you actually need those
You
seats.
actually need to pick somewhere to sit. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, so just another way that ChatGPT can continue to help and grow, and make it work best for us. What ways have you started to work that into your like kind of daily planning systems?
I think daily planning systems are harder for me to work it into because I am so cautious about it.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to, but it's more of I really need to spend the time focused on
Mm-hmm.
it, of like teaching the platform my
Right.
ways to then like work it in a little more. But I think the cross checking,
Mm-hmm.
the photos, the trying to find a very particular image of something
Yes.
for
Uh-huh.
inspiration, I feel like that's really helpful, because you can Google, you can Pinterest, you can do all these things, but when you're looking for something so specific, or just like trying to create this vision, and you just like type your thoughts in, it'll find
Yeah.
something that like is your brain.
Right.
So I think in those ways it's super helpful. And then yeah, I think there's a lot we can do with AI and with ChatGPT, but I think that we're still
Yeah.
cautious.
Which is totally fair. I mean, like we said earlier, we don't want to take away that personal touch. Everything, now that everything can be done by robots, everything is being done by robots. And a
I
majority of the
know.
time, I just want to talk to a real person. The one thing I
Same.
always think of
How
is
many
like,
times have you called
I was
Verizon
gonna
or
say,
AT&T?
like when you call somebody and it's an automated system and you're like, representative.
Yeah.
So we don't want to take
Literally every
no,
time, just
yeah,
screaming
I
at
don't
the
want to talk
phone.
to I don't want to talk to your robot, please. But no, so I mean,
Don't worry, we don't have that
yes,
here.
no robots
No
here.
robots.
We are still people, but we do want to keep that touch, so that's one thing that we don't necessarily have to worry about, I guess you would say, is like you wouldn't really find a robot rolling around on wedding day setting up chargers and
Oh my God,
placemats and
imagine.
yeah. That'd be kind of crazy.
Would you think that's in the future?
Do what?
You think that's in the
I
future?
hope not.
Oh my God, I really hope not either.
But like I think that they're using robots as like waiters now.
Wait, I saw someone post a video of they were in a hotel and they ordered like DoorDash or Seamless or something, and a robot brought their food up to their hotel room.
Yeah, see, like if they can do that,
That's crazy.
what else can they?
That's
yeah.
crazy. Oh my God, no, never in
No,
weddings. No robots in
yeah,
weddings.
no, I don't think so. But we will still but yeah, so we still just love adding those personal touches to things. Like you said, it's a great tool to be able to use to help save us time, to help save our clients hours. But we always want to add our personal touch into everything. So
I couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. What are you most excited about for 2026 with your business? So, for the listeners that don't know, Alex and I both opened our offices right around the same time. We're
Mhm.
both hitting our just about 2-year mark of owning patients, which is wild. I can't believe it.
I know, I really can't believe it either, because for the longest time, you and I have been like the new ones. And we were talking earlier, and I
I
was like,
know.
Nina, I don't think we're the new ones anymore.
We're not the newbies anymore. Like, what?
This is crazy.
When did this happen?
Yeah.
So, what are your goals for the year for Vale and Aspen?
I would love to see Vale and Aspen just continue to grow. I would love to get to the point where I am hiring like full-time lead planners. I would love to see more, always more weddings, more events. I would love
For sure.
maybe not just weddings, I would love to take on corporate events. I would love to take on parties, holiday parties, birthday parties. I don't know. You want to throw a party just because it's a Friday? Let's do it, So,
Love it.
but yeah, just overall growth as a whole, in every direction. Yeah. What about you? What do you see for New York?
I completely
Yeah.
agree. Same. I think we're both at points now where we're really getting to know our communities and like the vendors in our areas, and now we're getting to a point where growth in every direction is actually happening. And it's so exciting to see. And I think this year is going to be a big year. There's a lot happening in New York. There's a lot happening in my life. So big things coming for 2026 in New York City, but that doesn't mean things are changing. We're just growing.
Yes, always, all the time, which is great. We can only ever ask for forward movement. So, yeah.
Yes. No, I think adding more people to the team, we have an incredible group of weekend assistants here in New York. And I think some of them are interested in doing more part-time help and full-time help even. So I think, our group here is so tight-knit and we're so excited for the future. And I think the future has big things waiting for us. So it's kind of crazy to think about that, like, it's already 2026. We have like been doing this for 2 years now.
Wild.
What's next? What's gonna be the next 2 years? We're gonna have to do another episode in 2 years.
Yeah, and be like
on our 4th anniversary, and
what
be
did
like,
we do?
Whoa.
Yeah. Look at all the stuff that we did. That's crazy though. I know I was talking to my fiance last night, and he was like, you're already at 2 years now. Like, just imagine when you're at 4 years or 6, we're about to,
It's
we
wild.
just celebrated 15 years of SMB as a whole.
Woo!
Yay! Yeah. So like it's just so wild to see everything that's come. What
I couldn't
I
agree
know.
more.
What are you most excited about to see as far as for 2026 for SMB as a whole? Like all of us.
I think that, we're really excited about new franchise locations.
Yay!
I'm hopeful that there will be a few new franchises this year, which is really exciting because I think as we grow, our name gets
Mhm.
bigger and people know more about us and we're in more locations, which is awesome. And I think as a whole, we're planning in areas of the country that we haven't planned in
Mhm.
before. We're doing something in LA. I have a wedding in Maine this year. I have a wedding in Cape Cod this year. So, we're planning in locations where we don't necessarily have
Mhm.
franchises. And I think that is overall
Right.
growth. And that's just like me and some other
Yeah.
people. So if we're all planning a little bit outside of our comfort zone, it it allows us to grow and for people to hear our name and to want to open franchises of their own in those areas. And I think that's really, really
Absolutely.
awesome.
No, I couldn't agree more. I was at an industry event a couple months ago, and I was talking to someone. I had just met this photographer. She was super cute and bubbly, and we were chatting, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like, do you have Instagram? I'd love to follow you guys." And I was like, "Yeah." And so she pulls out her phone, and I tell her, Stunning and Brilliant Events, and she starts to type it in, and she was already following us. And I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Oh
that's so
my God, I
cool.
love
I love
that.
this." So I am just so excited to continue to watch us grow. Like you said, I mean, we're already coast to coast as far as offices, but adding in more is always going to be so exciting. Getting to plan in different
Totally.
parts of the country, getting to plan in different parts of the world. I would love to plan a wedding in Greece. That would be like
Oh,
incredible.
same.
Greece, Italy, Paris. I don't know.
I have a potential for Mexico in
That's
2027.
still
Maybe we'll get
fun.
to Mexico. So
Yeah, so
exciting.
exciting. I would love to do
I
that.
agree. I think like the Europe weddings are my favorite. And for our listeners, let's do some more Europe
Yeah,
weddings.
please.
We're like really excited about them.
Yeah, and bring us with you, Alex and Nina specifically.
Yes. Yes. 100%
Yeah,
us. I mean, we're open to
of
including our
course. Oh,
friends, but
absolutely.
us
Always.
first.
Always. But we want to go.
We gotta go. But I think, this year is going to be such an amazing year. I think one of the biggest focuses we always have as a company is learning about the new technologies that exist and keeping up with the new systems that we might hear
Mhm.
about. A lot of our clients are now starting to be Gen
Yeah,
Z, and we have to keep up with the things that they're looking for in their
right.
weddings, and we need to know about it before they come to us saying, "Well, what
Hmm.
about this?" Like we have to know. It's our
Yeah,
job to know. So learning about the new vendors that are doing the new awesome things and keeping up with networking and really meeting the people that we need to meet, I think are big things for us that always happen in the year, but I think are especially important for this new
absolutely.
year.
Yeah. No, like you said, we are starting to plan the weddings for Gen Z couples, and so I
Crazy.
know it's so crazy to think about. But we don't want to look like out of touch, So like when they come to us and they're like, we want this super awesome automatic fog machine, blah 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 blah, then we have to know
Yep.
exactly what they're talking about, who in our area has something like that, what the like logistics are behind that new machine, like
Hmm.
we've got to be up to the times of what TikTok is saying weddings should be like nowadays,
Yep.
which side note, you don't always have to do whatever TikTok is doing. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Definitely not.
Plan the
Definitely
wedding for
not. Just
you.
because
That's
TikTok
what's
does
the
it
most
doesn't
important.
mean
Yeah.
we are doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, but if they do want those things, we have to know what they're talking about, So staying up to date with
For
all of that
sure.
stuff, all of the new seems to be the theme.
I know. I love it. I love the new because it really makes the new wedding season feel different than the previous
Right.
one. And it's like, oh, what are the new trends that are coming, or the new things that people found, or the new vendors that we can
Yeah.
work with that, do things a little bit
Mhm.
different. So I think the new is so
It is so
exciting.
exciting. I personally love change. I love the new. I love the evolving. It can be boring and feel like you're getting stuck if you stay in the same thing all the time. So I always love bringing in
Totally.
fresh new ideas, fresh new procedures, fresh new platforms, all of the fun stuff. Yeah.
Totally. And listeners, please, please, please send us your favorite
Yes.
systems and your favorite things. As vendors, we love to collaborate and learn from our other vendors of like, maybe we're not thinking about something. Maybe there's something that we're missing and we need to know more about. Or if you're one of our clients or a potential client and you saw something really cool, send it our way. We'd love to see it.
We would love to bring any of your visions to life. Like you said, Nina, we'd love to know about the new platforms. Maybe there's something that we haven't heard of yet. Like I said earlier, I feel like there's something new every single day nowadays. So if you find something and it works for you,
and there's so many ways.
let us know, because we want to work it into our system.
For sure. Well, thanks guys for listening.
Thank you so much.
Alex, I know,
always, Nina.
You know where to find us on Instagram, on our website.
Yep, Instagram,
Don't
website,
forget to listen.
TikTok.
Comment, like, share.
Comment. Yeah.
Come back next week.
We love you guys. Thank you.